Mindfulness Collective. This right here, right now, is the Joy of Being Alive stream coming to you live from Brooklyn, New York. Folks, very lovely to see you here as we begin to trickle in. Okay, why am I? There we go. Now I'm more on screen. And lovely to be here with you as always. There is something showing right here. See, I have insulation, quote unquote, insulation above me, which is actually a blanket. And peeking in. That's all right. So folks, what's up? Friday, Freaky Friday. We're going to do a meditation based on your interest, what do you want to explore? So hit me in the chat. Where are you at? What are you grateful for? Also trying a new lighting setup today. What do folks think about this new lighting setup? Where am I? I'm in BK. What am I grateful for? New lighting setup. Lighting. What do folks think? A little moodier. If we want to get really moody, we could do this. How do folks feel? Okay, folks, great to be here with you. One thing that really kills me is this. Bink bonk, bink bonk. All right, there's nothing really one can do about that. I could put my light reflector up there, but that's not going to help. Okay, folks, where are you at? What are you grateful for? Just Andy, welcome, Just Andy. Is this your first time here? Have we met before, Just Andy? I think it might be Just Andy's first time here. Welcome, Just Andy. Very nice to be here with you. And have you here with us on the stream. A little tradition here. Great to see you. Great to meet you. Thanks for joining. Grateful for your stream. Thanks so much. Nick, hello from Karlstad, Sweden. Cave. Grateful for being alone for the first time in over a week. Vacation fatigue. All right, nice. Morning from Brooklyn. Grateful for not sweltering. That's not sweltering girl summer. Yeah, there you go. Beard detail is stunning. Okay, well, good to know. Yeah, so the question is, how do folks like this new lighting setup? It's usually I light from the camera side, so usually I light from this side, so I'm all lit up on this side. This side's more moody because it's more shadow side. You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying with the shadow side? How do we like that? Okay, folks, so today's meditation is going to be based on your requests, your interests, what's coming up for you. So hit me in the chat with any questions, queries, quandaries, challenges, or concerns, anything that's going on in life, and I will develop a new meditation, maybe one that's never even been done before, based on your requests. Okay, let's try this. If we put this in there, does that fix it? Oh yeah, boom. Okay, excellent. Excellent. Okay. I'm glad that the beard detail is now stunning. Okay, folks, so hit me real quick with what are you interested in? What do you want to do? What do you want to explore? What is up? What's new? What's happening? What is going on? Just Andy says lighting looks good. I'm glad. I'd be curious for folks who are here for the last year with the other lighting. If they compared to the other, if it even matters. Maybe it doesn't matter at all. Beep up. Okay, Just Andy says, I'm interested in stream entry and awakening. Any suggestions where I should start? I started Unified Mindfulness course, but not sure if that's a good start. It's a great start. Which course? Was it the Unified, is it the core curriculum? Let me know which one that is. I'll have a better sense of what you're describing. You know, if you're interested in that, I would encourage you to sort of dive into Shinzen's material generally, because he's going to talk about awakening from a very generalized perspective, which is, I find extremely, for me, was wildly helpful because, why was that? Because it's not talking about it from one specific angle and one specific tradition, because what happens is someone goes on to one specific tradition, and if you don't fit in that tradition, you sort of, just get ejected because you don't fit, and the teacher's like, I don't know, it's your anomaly, you're having the experience wrong. But if you do it from a generalized perspective and really get your sort of fundamental skills down, you can go into any tradition and walk in and just do what they tell you to do, and it's going to have an effect. And you sort of start to understand why you would go into a tradition that is limited. It's not like the sort of universalist view, which is what Shinzen is, more of a universalist sort of generalist. You can go into a tradition that's not generalist and is very specific in a lot of quirky, weird ways, and you sit like this and you just do these things. It's exactly like this, and you understand, oh, this is exactly why this would work, and why this one would work, and this other one would work, and this other one, despite the fact that each one says, I'm the one true practice. From the way Shinzen talks about it, and the perspective is that actually you can see why all of these are quite relevant. Also related is that I teach a course called The Progress of Shinsight, which I'm going to be launching. I'm going to be filling up soon. I'm going to launch the registration soon. It'll probably start in September, given that August is right now. And that is a course that combines the classical map of the Progress of Insight along with Progress of Insight and Shinzen's system, effectively looking at it from like later stage Buddhism, sort of turning the crystal so that we can see more of what is offered there, get more out of that offering. So that's another option if you want to get on the email list for that, which actually, another thing, what I would, oh wait, here it is, 15, if I do that. Yes, there it is. Those guided meditations, that's my take on expanding what the core curriculum does pretty dramatically, in my personal opinion. It's a lot of it's based on material that I would focus on with anyone who's new, especially if they're focused on, oh, we have a new subscriber, just Andy. Thank you so much. That's so kind of you. Thank you for that official support. Very appreciated. For someone who is interested in classical awakening, that's how I would start them out, is with those the 15 meditations. Should complement your core thing. Lovely. Yes, absolutely. Since we can, why not? Doink. Okay, so folks, we're going to meditate today, and Andy is interested in stream entry. Any other interests or challenges or anything else coming up for folks that you'd like to explore in this particular meditation today? Anything else you'd like to explore in today's meditation? It's going to be 25 minutes, and we are going to practice in stillness, practice without moving the body, 1 centimeter. I forgot who it was who used to hear they'd call it a centimeter. I don't know who says that like that. Okay, what else? It's hard to cover awakening in one meditation. We can talk about some of the fundamentals, but any other challenges? Let me ask you this, Andy. What challenges are you experiencing on your path to awakening, or just in your meditation in general? If you're just starting, especially with the core curriculum, what challenges are arising, or what's been interesting that you want to explore? We'll go from there. Beep, pop, pop, beep, pop, pop, pop. Let's see here. Okay, so hit me with those, and I'll just do a technical thing for 1 second here. Okay, good news, everybody. I finished the thing I needed to do. Okay, folks, so hit me with whatever else you'd like to meditate on, and we will go from there. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't finish yet. Hold on 1 second. Okay, great. Okay. Oh, here we go. Just ready for some straight up kind awareness. Okay, so 1 request for kind awareness. Awareness always works. Maybe something about all the mind's trickery going on them. Then, like everything must obviously be right. Their mind is like that. Here where I am, but noticing yet the feeling of distance I'm sorry, why am I reading this wrong? Apparently my dyslexia is kicking up today. It's funny that dyslexia is it's like arthritis. Like, oh, the weather's weird. My dyslexia is kicking up. Let's gonna have the computer read this because it'll be faster for my brain.
Awareness always works. Maybe something about all the mind trickery going on then. Like everything must obviously be right here where I am to be noticed, but yet the feeling of distance and all that is so convincing.
Okay. Okay, so some people's stream froze. Hopefully, let me know if it's still rolling here. What I was asking Andy is any challenges that you're experiencing in your practice or anything interesting coming up in your practice that we could plug into today's meditation that would make it fit for you. Time and Change is back online now. Great. Yeah, okay, so I'll give you another second for that. In the meantime, find a nice comfortable position that you can maintain for the duration of the sit. And we will get ready to roll here. I'm just looking at this stream without, it's funny, without the chat. Just gonna look at without the chat, and then let's look at without the overlay. It's funny how with nothing at all, I always feel like there has to be signage or whatever. It's great. Damn. It's so appealing just as a visual. Maybe I'll change it so that just things appear every now and then, but it's just basically like, I mean, as far as just the look, maybe something subtle in the corner or something like that. But I feel like this looks a lot better. Anyway, hit me with anything else you want to. Of course, I want to see your chats, though. That's the problem. Sometimes I'm not sure if I'm meditating properly. That's a very broad question. Properly has a very many possibilities there. Anything specific that's a challenge. This thing is hard. It's not quite working, or I'm not sure if this is right, or what do you mean by properly? And anything that's been interesting, because it could be properly posture. It could be properly. Are you paying attention? It could be. Are you distracted? Are you sleepy? Are you? So every proper could imply any challenge with meditation. So folks, as we begin here, find a nice comfortable position you can maintain for the duration of the sit. And of course, it's funny because look, I'll put on the timer. It's like so bells and whistlesy. It's like wee, 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 compared to like how simple the other thing was. I think I'm going to go in the more simple direction because it looks so good. Okay, we're not starting the meditation yet. Okay, so get that nice comfortable position you can maintain. No real challenges. Okay, well, I'm going to come up with something and maybe it'll be helpful for you, but we'll find out. Okay, so some people talked about awareness, kind awareness, and how the mind will convince us of specific things that are, it'll convince us that there's a struggle. Okay. So what we're going to do is look at parts of ourselves that want and don't want. We're going to look at clinging and aversion. And people often have a hard time with this because they're like, I'm not clinging, I'm not averse, but the body and mind can be clinging and averse. So if you want to see clinging and aversion very quickly, just don't blink. Just don't blink at all. And watch how quickly the body is like it starts like winding up. It's like, no. So that's an example of the system like wanting it. It just wants to close the eyes. I'm not actually doing it because I know I've experienced it too many times. And it's very, there's a monk in Burma, in Thailand, who talks about every movement we make with our body is because of clinging and aversion. Or you want another version of this, try not breathing. Right? Don't breathe for a minute and, see what the body does. It just fills us with all this like, I gotta do. So any like pushing and pulling within ourselves, it's different ways the system is pushing and pulling, telling us things need to be like X, Y, and Z. Awareness doesn't have that push or pull. It doesn't need anything to be different in any way. And so that's very important. If we can have contact with that part of us that doesn't need anything to be different, there is a lot of freedom in that. So that's what we're going to be exploring, finding a nice comfortable position that you can maintain for the duration of the sit. And when you're ready, we'll begin. beginning by deciding if you'd like to practice with the eyes open or closed. If closed, doing so now. If open, letting the eyes rest on a single point. And beginning by taking a few comfortable deep breaths, just feeling the body rise and fall. Each time we begin a meditation, we begin with the momentum of all of the previous moments. So if the mind was moving quickly in the minutes and hours and days approaching this meditation, it will likely move quickly as we begin to settle. And this is natural. So noticing as you physically relax the body, that the mind can experience this as either very stable or as something that is sort of jittery, something that's moving around quite a bit, hard to grasp, or on the other end is foggy, something that is dull, difficult to notice, nuance, crispness. And we'll begin by sweeping through the body, relaxing the head, including the muscles behind the eyes, back of the tongue, the throat and neck, relaxing the shoulders, the arms, and relaxing the hands. As we relax the hands, remembering that we can physically relax more than we can physically feel. So even if it feels like the body is already relaxed, relaxing more deeply, even if we can't detect it. Letting go of any attempt to control the breath, just letting the body breathe as it will. Noticing the natural tightening and relaxing of the upper chest and upper back as the breath comes and goes. Relaxing the belly and the lower back. Relaxing the hips, the upper legs and knees, the calves, and relaxing the feet. And for a moment, relaxing everything all together, one large pool. Each of the places we individually relaxed, now letting go altogether. If we haven't already, engaging in awareness, this overall experience. So all of the body as one category, rather than any individual point or place in the body. Noticing how effortless awareness knows our experience. We don't need to do anything in order to experience the body. So we're going to begin by observing various drives. First in the body, but we'll notice them in other places. And largely, we're actually observing drives in the mind. So let's let go of any particular meditation technique. Let go of noticing awareness or attention. Let go of even letting go. There's nothing being asked of you at this point. You're not even being asked to stay conscious, but somehow the mind does. Without us trying to intervene, the mind stays conscious, the mind worries. The body has impulses to move, itches and pains arise. The body breathes on its own. Sometimes when we notice these natural habits of the body, suddenly it becomes confusing. We're not sure how to breathe anymore. That's also natural. In other words, volition intervenes and confuses us. There are all of these various drives occurring within us. Parts of us that feel as though they need to do, to move. We even notice that the mind is tracking time. We don't need to track time, we have a timer. Many minutes from now a bell will ring, so why would the mind keep tracking and thinking about time unless the mind felt it needed to? Why would the mind keep us in a certain space, a sense of being at the center of the universe? As though we were the middle and the focal point of all experiencing. So now we're going to make a slight shift from non-intervention to to very, very subtle intervention. All we're going to do is each time we notice any one of these drives, pushing or pulling, we're going to introduce that set of sensations to the overall experience. In other words, if there's suddenly an impulse to move the hand, we're going to just bring into awareness the sensations around the hand, the sounds, other touch sensations. Bringing in more and more until we come to an experience of all sensation, the whole. If there's suddenly an impulse to track time, or an impulse for this meditation to go well, recognizing that as simply one of these drives, some form of clinging or aversion, and introducing it back to the overall experience, all sense data. We're going from division, the world divided into various objects, to unison. The world is a messy, big pile of various experiences. And I'd like us to try using a kind of what we might call an internal lubricant. I'd like us to try to use kindness. So anytime one of these drives arises, we can use a kind phrase like, of course, or we might say welcome, or may you be peaceful. Notice that this welcoming and kind quality is part of the nature of this spacious awareness. And if not the nature, it can be a quality we can cultivate. Welcome. Welcome. Welcoming anything, any drive, any pull that arises. Welcoming it to the overall experience. Being sure to include any sense of self, any sense of me doing this, any sense of the experiencer This too is simply a drive, an impulse, a habit. And to that we simply say, welcome, welcome. And of course, at times we'll become distracted. This is natural. As consciousness returns, noticing that the distraction is likely some drive, some set of impulses to wonder or worry. Not a problem, just nature. And so to that piece of nature we simply say, welcome, welcome. If there's any part of us that feels this is going well, welcome. That feels this is going poorly, welcome. What if all there was in the world was the function of saying welcome? How little effort does it take for the system to simply say welcome? Or if we don't even use the words, for this awareness to simply know that whatever touches it is welcome. of sleepiness or agitation or stress or concern arise, welcome. Welcome. If we think that there's a part of us that needs to say welcome, to that we just let awareness open to and welcome that. Awareness knows how to do this. We don't need to intervene. I'm going to say some words that are likely going to fire off a whole set of impulses in the body. I want you to observe exactly what occurs, and if you can, just let it into this field of welcoming. There is a little over a minute left of the meditation until the bell will ring, and we'll have the option to move the body, but until then, the body will remain entirely still. Notice that this information will light up an entire set of neural pathways, sending preparation peptides to the muscles. The whole body will be primed to move. All set of impulses and images of what happens after the meditation arise. Welcoming these to the whole. Welcome. Noticing that sense of need that the body and mind will produce. A kind of subtle yearning, like a child pleading to have the cookie. Noticing, if you can, that there's a degree to which it's unpleasant. Wanting doesn't care if we're happy. It just wants. If the eyes are closed, allowing a tiny bit of light to enter the eyes, eventually allowing the eyes to rest on a single point as they fully open. Again, noticing the pull of time, the impulse of change, Noticing if we want to be controlled by this. Is this something we prefer? If not, simply welcoming it to the overall experience, letting it be free of its need. Welcome, not trying to change it, not needing to satisfy it. And in this way, allowing this particular moment to be the great teacher. As we sit here with our eyes open, as we do much of our day, this moment is much like many we will experience throughout today, noticing we have a choice to engage in these various impulses or to allow the kind awareness to welcome them into our overall experience, letting this particular moment be the great teacher. Okay. Excuse me. What was that experience like? What was it like? What happened? And what do you like now? Hit me up in the chat, and we will discover what's up. I wonder about this new look with no chat, no signage, no anything. I really kind of like it. I feel like it looks good. I mean, it's just a problem though, because for branding purposes, and also for like video replays later, it's important that people see. So maybe I'll just make it more subtle, because right now it's like pretty, it stands out, takes up a lot of energy to some degree. So maybe I'll make it more transparent, and then as the chat appears. Oh, so P.S. if you want to chat using voice style, okay, I bet you I'm still streaming on the thing. Yeah, I bet you I'm still there. Damn it. Okay, I'm the speaker now. Okay. If you want to chat using voices, here is the Discord. If you've never used Discord, then it's pretty easy to set up. Or you can type in the chat. What was your experience like? What happened? What do you like now? And we will go from there. I feel very quiet. I always feel like cheesy when I'm like, I feel calm. It's like such a, I don't know. I feel like there's so many ways to describe how one feels, but I do feel calm. Spacious, spacey, sort of dissolved a little bit. Sense of self is very ethereal. The sense of self that is arising, I can feel it as a kind of impulse to exist, to be known, to be managed and talked to and shared with, all those kind of things. What else, folks? What's coming up? What's arising? I'll just do that. What if the whole stream is me just going? Okay, let's let the computer read for us for now, because, oh wait, is anyone jumping in on the, okay, no, wait, is there someone in there? Wait, what does it say? Discord, or is where? There. No listeners. Okay, no one's on the Discord. We have Justin saying something here. Justin says, oops. Justin says,
relieving the welcome sensation and feeling during meditation. Distraction was a concern I had, but after welcoming it, the concern dropped.
Cha-ching. And you can welcome the concern. All right, we have a branding comment here from Jean.
Branding, both on a browser and app. It says deep mindfulness right below the screen, so I don't think people would be wildly confused as to who you are. Anyway, that was a really nice sit. I mostly felt that in my body as opposed to in my mind. I realized about halfway through that I had a nice smile on my face.
Nice.
Apropos of nothing, have you heard about Polyvagal Theory?
Oh, sure. Polyvagal Theory is great. Excuse me. Let me mute this before I cough in everyone's ear. Yeah, Polyvagal Theory is great. Oh, I haven't put the chat on the screen yet. Yes, I've heard of it, and I highly recommend it. It's a lot of the stuff that's for trauma-informed mindfulness is what they use. There's a book called Trauma-Sensitive Mindfulness or Trauma-Informed Mindfulness, one of the two. Somebody can figure out which one it is. That's great, and put that in the chat. But that is a book on things one might want to do in order to work with trauma and mindfulness at the same time. Yes, sirree. Okay, so cool. Anything else? What else came up for folks when you meditated? P.S. Typing and writing out what happened in your experience in as much detail as possible, or saying it out loud, amplifies your meditation considerably. So what's the equivalent here? If you don't stretch after running, for instance, it's going to have much less of an effect physiologically. If you don't explain or talk about your experience after you have it, it has a different effect. Not that it's a bad effect, but it's a different effect. Let's say that. So what else came up, folks? What happened? What do you like now? It's Friday, and so I'm going to have to cut the stream a little bit short, so we probably have about 12 minutes left. What else, folks? Any questions, quandaries, queries, challenges, or concerns arising? What else is coming up for folks? What else is arising? Okay, we have where are we here? There we go. Thank you for that, Gene. Is Trauma-Sensitive Mindfulness by David? I don't know. I have to look it up. I'm just going to search it just like you would. If you want me to. Yeah, Trauma-Sensitive Mindfulness. Yep, that's the one. That is the one. Highly recommended. Excellent, excellent. Anything else, folks? No pressure. Also, any suggestions on things we should watch on stream? Don't know if we can watch it today, but suggestions are always welcome. What else, folks? All right, cool. Folks, lovely. I know what happens usually. I'm like, okay, great. See everyone later. And I get ready to do the outro. And then all of a sudden, everybody comes in with like a dozen reports. So in this particular moment, right here, right now, listen to this music. Enjoy the dulcet sounds of Nick, son of a bitch. Okay, Nick has something to say. Nick, you're in trouble. Not really. Okay. No, I'm just kidding. It's no big deal. It's great. Nick says.
Blanked out a bit but was a lot more tensed up than usual, especially in the jaw. Not meditating for a week seems to be causing a significant increase in the intensity of the wanting of all kinds, especially physical. Maybe it is becoming more used to always getting what it wants.
Yeah, and you know, like the good thing is that when we first started meditating, it took us like weeks and months to get through certain blocks and certain challenges. But when we come back to it, it's like very quick. It's much quicker. It's not like this like linear thing where we're like learning skills and like whatever. It's much more like whoosh, exponential back to sort of where we are. Because why would that be? If anyone can guess before I say it, you get an extra, I don't know, you get 3 deep mindfulness points. That's from now on, everyone's going to get, Nick gets minus 20 deep mindfulness points for putting his report after we started the outro. But let's see. The point of it is that why would it be that meditation ramps up so much and isn't like linear again once we after we've had this experience? The reason for that is because insight. Insight is a direct experience that you can't take out of the system unless there's some sort of major brain damage or something like that. Like you can't untaste a strawberry. If you've tasted one before, you cannot not have that experience. So all those experiences are the things that are building up, and that's how wisdom is produced, is many experiences of insight over and over and over again eventually produce a sense of, or produce a knowing about reality that is very specific and very unique to itself. Okay, folks, here we go. Outro time. Here's where all the reports come in. In this particular moment, go ahead and listen on to that Ruby music. I think the music's playing. Yes. And the image stopped. That's all right. So enjoying that music for a moment, just taking a moment to let that into all experiencing. You know, even the part that's following along with the music, that knows from one note to the next, that knows from one sound to the next, that is itself a kind of impulse. It's not bad. It's nature. We don't need to get rid of it, actually. To see it deeply is to escape its vortex. So right in this particular moment, noticing all those impulses, this sense of planning your day, the sense of wanting to move the body, to blink, to breathe, just observing all of those. Yes, being a slave to wanting is quite unpleasant, and we don't notice that level of unpleasantness that's constant in the body, in the mind. So folks, lovely as always to be here with you. Be sure, before we come back here in fewer than 72 hours, practice well, take care of each other, have fun, and we'll see you all very, very soon.